Here, Ashish Amish presenting the fifth episode of Law and Life on the family-owned political parties are the cuts on political Indian political system. This conversation I will be having with the renowned senior advocate of Supreme Court of India, Subodh Markandeya. Discussion on the subject matter with my first question, which is today almost all the political parties in India, nation and regional are family controlled. Dynstocracy in the order of the day, youth has ceased to have any role to play. Is this what we strove in our freedom movement?
Have you ever thought what was the true aim of India's struggle for freedom? It was not just a struggle for deliverance of Indian people from bondage of alien British rule. It was also a struggle for participatory government that was absent in British India and most of the 565 native dynastic rulers over whom the British Raj exercised what is called paramountcy. Our freedom struggle was simultaneously a struggle for unadulterated democracy with all its attributes, that is, elected and accountable government, full civil liberties, freedom of faith and religion, speech and expression, and much more. Other major aim of our freedom struggle was also to attain rapid economic progress, social progress, and to lift the masses from the poverty, illiteracy, and disease, and usher an era of cultural regeneration. Acceptance of any dynastic or hereditary rule was thus an anathema to the ideals of our freedom struggle. As a matter of fact, Gandhiji, Deshbandhu, Chittaranjan Das, Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, and most of the other important political leaders followed a strict code of avoiding and preventing any nepotism in their public life and political affairs. Have you seen Vallabhbhai Patel's son ever entering in any governmental or legislative body and or his daughter? So uh, there was this nepotism had to be avoided. That was their aim. Constituent Assembly, mostly composed of practicing freedom fighters, could not have remotely sanctioned or countenanced any dynastic or hereditary tendencies. In fact, the inauguration of the Republican Constitution of India directly heralded not only the end of British rule, but also the rule of all the vassal states, that is 565 hereditary Indian rulers across India.
And what about after the independence?
After independence, in various states, by enacted laws, we abolished the dynastocratic and hereditary systems of tenures like jagirdaris of all description prevalent in the Indian states and zamindaris in all the former British territories. We did not stop there. By later laws, Watandari system of village administration in some southern states was also abolished, and so were the hereditary villagers, village officers, and even priesthood in the Hindu temples. In commercial sphere also, the system of family-based managing agents in the companies were abolished. Several other Indian laws were made to prevent families taking over and perpetuating themselves in the cooperative societies. Then how and why the dynastocracy emerged and thrived in India on such an all-pervasive scale for the longest time that we can remember. Dynastocratic tendencies were started manifesting itself in 1928-29 when, in the words of Lord Meghnad Desai, noted author and member of British House of Lords, Motilal Nehru, quote, secured, unquote, for Jawaharlal Nehru the presidentship of the Indian National Congress, which paved the way for his ultimately becoming the Prime Minister of India. Jawaharlal Nehru likewise secured for his daughter Indira Priyadarshini the presidency of Indian National Congress in 1959, which paved the way for her also becoming the Prime Minister of India in 1967, within 3 years of her father's death.
This makes me to ask the question: what is the harmful effect of dynastocracy?
Experience of last 50 years shows that dynastocracy completely erodes and undermines our democratic values, leading to privatization of public power, giving rise to family-owned political parties and supremos. The dynasts hijack and usurp public power and perpetuate themselves, their progeny, their cronies in power for decades of their misrule, undermining the rule of law and leading to degraded and debased forms of private exercise of public power and also giving rise to what I may call formula politics. From the very inception of her prime ministership, Indira Gandhi showed dictatorial tendencies and got into repeated and unseemly conflict with the apex court. But her dynastic tendencies lay dormant. After Bangladesh war, which concluded decisively in India's favor with the surrender of the Pakistani army to our Eastern Command, she became more and more autocratic and less accountable. In 1975, after Allahabad High Court set aside her elections, holding her guilty of corrupt practices, Indira Gandhi became desperate to retain and perpetuate herself in power, directly or through family, friends, and favorites. She declared emergency, and during that time, Parliament passed several abominable laws, including constitutional amendments. One such constitutional amendment was Article 329A, clauses 4 and 5 of which left no remedy for challenging the election to the holder of the Prime Minister's office. Clauses 4 and 5 of Article 329 were nothing short of constitutional monstrosity and were rightly struck down by the Supreme Court. During this period, Indira Gandhi obliterated all the lines between her person, private, and government, which lines in ultimate analysis ensure probity in public life. India is Indira and Indira is India became not only her own credo, but the official credo of her party and government. Her younger son, without holding any public office or having any accountability to any institution in any manner, let loose his atrocious interference in public affairs, which was felt and seen in all the decisions and activities of the central and state governments across the country. It was the most brazen example of dynastocracy. There was nobody, no public opinion, no parliament, press, Supreme Court, or any institution or individual to check, prevent, or even moderate such brazen extra constitutional exercise of power. Indira Gandhi set worst example of utter lack of probity in public life and governance, and people of India have paid a very heavy price of her misdemeanors. But much more and worse was yet to come. On the death of her younger son in an air crash in June 1980, Indira Gandhi inducted her elder son and made him the general secretary of her party. In 1981, he became the member of Lok Sabha from Amethi, constituency of Sanjay Gandhi, which is another instance of dynastocracy. On the assassination of Mrs. Gandhi, he was sworn as prime minister. Dynastocracy now became the established creed of Indian National Congress. Only a member of Nehru Gandhi family could lead the party, become prime minister and party president. Rajiv Gandhi, who was a dropout from two engineering colleges in England, became a commercial pilot without absolutely having any academic credentials or experience in either administration or parliament or governance or politics. He became prime minister. Of course, due to public sympathy which was generated due to his mother's assassination, he had got a massive mandate and lot of public support. But by pursuit of crony politics, disastrous policies, and serious corruption charges, he frittered away his valuable asset of unprecedented mandate. He was also assassinated. Now, Sonia Gandhi, his wife, who had moved into Indira Gandhi's household in 1968, and after her marriage to Rajiv Gandhi, for next 15 years, she learnt all the tricks of dynastocratic politics from its master practitioner, that is her mother-in-law. So after Rajiv Gandhi's assassination, she lay low, pretending not to be interested in politics. But at the right opportunity, she wrested the Congress presidency from the incumbent president of that party in the most questionable manner and retained that lucrative office for next 19 years till 2017 when she made her reluctant son, I'll quote, I'll just put in inverted commas, reluctant son, Rahul Gandhi as the president of the Indian National Congress. For next 10 years, she misruled through her loyal proxy. In election after election, her son proved himself to be thoroughly incompetent. And after disastrous failure of the Indian National Congress in Lok Sabha elections in 2019, he resigned to be replaced by none other than his mother, without any inhibition or without any inhibition. Sonia's daughter Priyanka was also made the general secretary. Encouraged and emboldened by the example of Nehru Gandhi family in politics, of low probity in public life, dynastocracies have arisen across the states in our country. From Jammu and Kashmir, from Punjab, from Haryana, from Uttar Pradesh, and all the states down south, dynastocracies and supremo led parties have become the rule of our polity today. So, in my view, in my humble view, time has now come to provide constitutional and legal protection of public power from dynastocracy and the rule of supremos and all the evil associated with this dangerous infection that is eating into the vitals of our political life. And also, it's depriving the youth of India of any role in our politics. So, I'm done today.
With that broad statement, we will end this session. And thank you again for joining this session, sir.